What if the very fields that feed us could also be the key to healing our planet? Today, we're diving into a blueprint for what some are calling the perfect farm, one that could turn agriculture from a source of environmental strain into a powerful solution for our future. So, let's get into it.
So, let's start with this one big question. What if we could actually design the perfect farm? I'm not just talking about a farm that produces more food, but one that actively restores the land it's on, strengthens the communities around it, and helps build a truly sustainable future. It's a vision from thinkers like Brent Loken, and it's really the heart of what we're talking about today.
But, to even think about building that future, we first have to get real about the present. Why is a new way of farming not just some nice idea, but something we absolutely have to do? Well, it all starts with the crisis on our plates.
Okay, get a load of this number, 25%. A full quarter of all global greenhouse gas emissions comes directly from agriculture. That one stat alone tells you that our food system is right at the center of the climate crisis. It's proof that the way we're farming right now is pushing our planet to its limits.
And it definitely doesn't stop with emissions. The hidden costs are just staggering. We're talking about massive deforestation, clearing out vital forests for more crops and grazing. Our freshwater supplies, they're shrinking at an alarming rate. And maybe the most critical part, the very soil we depend on is becoming degraded, lifeless. It's losing its ability to grow the food we need. The stakes couldn't be higher. If we just keep going down this road, experts are warning our entire food system could be at risk of collapse.
So, that's the problem. It's huge, it's complex, and it's definitely urgent. But, and this is a big but, it is not hopeless. This is where we shift from the problem to the solution. Because there is a blueprint, a clear, actionable plan for creating the kind of farms our world really needs.
First off, we've got to redefine what a perfect farm even means. It's not about squeezing every last bit of yield out of the land, no matter the cost. The key here is that it's a system designed for harmony. It's all about regeneration, giving back to the land more than you take. It's about creating a place where wildlife can thrive right alongside crops, where every single drop of water is used wisely, and where farmers work with nature's cycles, not against them.
Okay, so how do we get to this harmony? Well, it all boils down to 5 core principles that are meant to work together as one big, integrated system. This is not a menu where you can just pick 1 or 2. It's about embracing all 5. Let's walk through what each of these really looks like in practice. First up, regenerate the soil. This means we have to stop treating soil like it's just dirt and start seeing it as a living, breathing ecosystem. Farmers who do this keep the ground covered with plants, we call them cover crops, to stop erosion and build up organic matter. They rotate different kinds of crops to naturally put nutrients back in the soil, and they use compost instead of harsh chemical fertilizers. When they do all this, they're not just growing food, they're building healthier, stronger soil that pulls huge amounts of carbon right out of the atmosphere and locks it safely in the ground. Principle number 2 is all about managing livestock smartly. For so long, livestock have been seen as the bad guys when it comes to climate. But in this story, they can actually be the heroes. Using a method called rotational grazing, farmers basically mimic how wild herds used to move. The animals are moved often through smaller pastures, and their grazing actually stimulates plant growth, their manure is a natural fertilizer, and their hooves gently break up the soil. This completely flips the script, turning livestock from a problem into a key part of the solution. Third, we have to talk about water. A perfect farm uses water incredibly efficiently. The days of just flooding fields and wasting tons of water are over. Instead, these farms use targeted methods like drip irrigation, which delivers water directly to the plant's roots with almost no waste. They also use really clever rainwater harvesting systems to catch every drop they can for the dry seasons. In this model, farms don't just consume a precious resource, they become careful stewards of it. Our fourth principle is to embrace diversity. Industrial agriculture has pushed us toward these huge, fragile monocultures. Those endless fields of just corn or just soy. The problem is they're incredibly vulnerable to pests, disease, and weird weather. This blueprint calls for the complete opposite, polycultures, where all kinds of different crops, trees, and plants grow together in a complex, resilient system. This diversity naturally confuses pests, enriches the soil, and creates a much more stable and reliable harvest. It's kind of like nature's own insurance policy. And the final principle is to integrate technology with nature. Now, this isn't about choosing between old school tradition and some high-tech future. It's about using smart tech to support natural systems. Think of soil sensors that tell a farmer the exact moisture level so they don't overwater, or drones that can scan fields and spot plant stress way before a person could ever see it. This kind of tech gives farmers the power to make faster, better decisions that actually make their farm's ecosystem healthier.
Now, I know these principles might sound a little bit like a far-off dream, but they are not just a theory.
This is a reality that's already taking root in fields all across the globe.
This whole movement is global. You can see it in Kenya, where farmers are practicing agroforestry, weaving trees into their farms to make the soil richer and save water. In the Netherlands, you have these high-tech greenhouses that produce incredible yields with very few resources. All across India, regenerative farming is restoring land that was thought to be lost. And right here in the USA, rotational grazing is literally healing the American prairie. These examples prove a better food system isn't just possible, it's already being built right now.
So if we know this works, what's stopping it from just becoming the new normal? Well, the answer is scale. To make this revolution happen everywhere, it's going to take a huge coordinated effort. We need governments to create supportive policies, scientists to keep refining the techniques, investors to fund the transition, and of course farmers to lead the charge on the ground. It really has to be a collective mission.
And if we can achieve that cooperation, what does that future actually look like? Well, it looks like this. Just imagine farms that are net positive, that are actually healing the planet while feeding billions of people. Farms that operate with zero waste, all powered by clean energy. You could have urban farms growing food right where people live, and smart farms that perfectly blend the wisdom of tradition with the precision of modern tech. This is the incredible future that people like Brent Loken are talking about.
So, this brings us to the end. We've seen the problem, we've walked through the blueprint, and we've caught a glimpse of the future. What it all really boils down to now is a choice. A choice that we all have to make.
So if there's one thing you take away from this, let it be this. The perfect farm is not a fantasy. It's a real, practical blueprint for a healthier planet and a secure food future for all of us. The science is there, the techniques work, and pioneers are already out there proving it can be done. So the question really isn't, can we do this anymore? We know the answer to that is yes. The real question, the one that matters now, is will we choose to? As consumers, as citizens, as leaders, will we make the choice to build this future? That's the question we're all left with.